Welcome back to the Triple Double Watch, guys. Today we're doing an MLB video. We are about 1 week left in the season, maybe even a little less when you see this, 5 or 6 days. And a lot of history has happened. 1 or 2 races still left to be determined. We're going to get into it all here. I have the right attire on for a baseball video. Angels shirt, Cardinals hat. But
that shirt's not the right attire.
So let's get right into, you want to talk about history first, honestly?
Yeah, let's talk about it. It's been a little bit, few days. So, our guy Albert got to 700. He actually hit 699 and 700 in LA, of all places. Shout out Greg Amsinger predicting it in April. So, yeah, what a night that was.
Yeah, I was almost hoping it would happen at home, but things like that you can't mess around with by any means. You can go easily 7-8 games long run and then you have it all. So he said, screw it, I'm going to give them both in one night and call it a day.
Shout out Phil Bickford hanging a slider.
Yes, sir. We'd love to see it. And the Cardinals clinched the division now on Tuesday with a win over the Brewers. So they will, I think, guaranteed now be the 3 seed. But so hosting a wild card series against the 6 seed. But yeah, Pujols 4th ever to hit 700. And I mean, you look at the guys above him and the different factors they had to get there. You could argue he's the best hitter in history.
Oh, easily, for sure. I mean, if Bonds doesn't take steroids, I've seen that a lot. How many would he have actually hit? I mean, I'm not one of those. I still believe those records are legit. I mean, wasn't against the rules, so you know. But anyways, I feel like if he had not left St. Louis, it's the biggest discussion lately. How many would he have hit in those years? Because I mean, you can just look at us clinching. He didn't get any postseason baseball, or not very much at all, in LA. So, yeah, I mean, it's completely different. Those 10 years to the rest of his career. So, it was cool to see him do it in LA, though.
Yeah, for sure, and it matters to play meaningful baseball too for stuff like this, because there had to be seasons when they were eliminated rather early where he just wasn't in the right mindset, wasn't locked in and day out, and so that alone could have got him some more. And I don't know, the Angels almost have to be, Angels have to be a little upset in a way. They paid this man crazy money and he was all right, but he wasn't worth the money. He's almost had, now granted he's getting put into the most opportunistic opportunities with St. Louis this year. But this year in St. Louis has almost been better than any year with LA, the whole 10 years. And that is crazy to think about.
I will disagree about that. He was still putting up numbers in LA for a while there, but it has been a great year.
The first three, and then it nosedived quickly.
Yeah, he was still putting up decent. I mean,
I'm not saying they're bad, but I'm saying like his year in St. Louis this year is comparable to those years, and he's on a $5 million contract.
Comparable to a few of them, yeah, for sure. So.
But yeah, moving right along, we'll go to other history. The night we're recording this, Aaron Judge just hit home run 61 to tie the AL record with Roger Maris. They have an off day on Thursday. You're seeing this on Friday, so it should still be 61 when you're seeing this. But he only needs one more to break the record now with 6 games to go, I believe, or 7 maybe. So
yeah,
more than likely we'll get it done.
Yeah, as long as they pitch to him. The Jays walked him 4 times the night before this recording, so it is a little note that nobody ended up catching the ball of Judge's, but the guy that caught Pujols left with the ball. So that's going to be interesting to see when that resurfaces, if it does. But Pujols said he didn't want it. So, as I called, I believe, on this show, he wasn't going to want it. So Judge is in possession, I assume, of his ball already. So that's an interesting difference. But it's pretty cool to see that AL record. Obviously, I I feel like it's getting way more attention than Pujols is, which I don't believe is right, but still is a cool thing. And yeah, it's awesome to see two different things like that in the same year.
Yeah, for sure. It's a historic season. Unlike any other, 700 could take literally a century. I mean, you just never know with something like that. With injuries, and it's hard to play baseball that long nowadays for sure. And pitchers are even better. And Judge same way. I mean, it's easy to work around a guy. It's easy to have any type of injury. I mean, he could have just been injured for 1 week this season, and this record's in doubt. But I just imagine it was absolute mayhem when the ball lands in the bullpen with the fans above and stuff.
Well, there was a clip of him.
No.
There's a clip of him I already seen. It's the guy that was closest that missed it turned around and threw his glove at some guy, and it was just bedlam. They were all doing the universal sign. So Yankees get that record and clinch the division back-to-back nights. So cool for them. Cardinals also clinched last night. New Barr is the greatest reporter of all time.
All that new content, all of it.
So a lot of clinching happening, obviously, this time of year. So let's get right into the standings.
Sure.
So we'll go through this. I got the wild card pulled up right now. So the entire AL divisions have been decided. And seeds. Houston has clinched the West. They'll be the 1 seed. They haven't technically clinched the 1 seed, I don't think, but they'll end up clinching it. The Yankees will be the 2. They've clinched the East. Cleveland has clinched the Central. I called that at the All-Star break kind of thing. And they will most likely be the 3. I think that's almost locked.
Yeah.
So then we get into the wild cards. Toronto is currently 2.5 up for the first wild card. Tampa Bay is 1 game up for the second. Seattle has got the third, and then Baltimore is 4 out right now. At the time of recording, they are 4 out, so getting a little bleak. They're losing games right now, so that's not hot. Speaking of losing games, the White Sox are on an 8-game losing streak and are all but eliminated, and Minnesota is basically eliminated right there with them. So your Twins prediction didn't go too hot second half.
No, and they were aggressive at the trade deadline and just, I don't know, everything fell apart for them. The Orioles, every day it ticks by, you want them to be 3 games back instead of 4, and it seems like they're 4 back every single night. Seattle has been losing against easy teams. They lost a couple against Kansas City. They lost 1 or 2 against Oakland. A little bit back.
They're beating Texas right now. That's right there. So,
well, good. They need to beat these teams. Take care of business, but the door has been a little bit open for Baltimore. But I think they're only like 5-5 in their last 10.
4 and
that's
6.
Not bad by any means, but when you get to this point, you gotta roll off an 8 out of 10 when you're behind. And Seattle's floundering, and the Rays are still like, you could have caught the Rays too potentially, but that looks out of the realm now. Seattle's schedule's still easy in the last 2 series, so it seems all but locked.
Yep. And then we can move on to the NL. The Dodgers have clinched the West and a 1 seed. They are at 106 wins right now, and I think they got, 8 left?
Yeah.
8 left. And
16, but they'll get close.
8 left, 6 against Colorado, I think it is. So, going to be interesting to see how high they can get. Whoever wins the East, it'll be the 2 seed. So, the Mets are currently a game up on Atlanta, heading into a weekend 3-game set in Atlanta. So, that's going to be huge. DeGrom just got moved up to Friday night to pitch against Atlanta. So, going to be good. St. Louis, as we mentioned, clinched the Central last night. Party night there. This last home series we're going to be at. It's going to be a party atmosphere. I can promise you that.
Crazy.
San Diego is currently the second wild card. Whoever loses the East will be the first, and they'll be the 4. San Diego's currently the 5. They're 3 games up on the 6, which is Philadelphia, who is trying to blow it. They're only a half game up at the time of recording on Milwaukee. Philadelphia's 3-7 in their last 10, 4-game losing streak. So it's not looking too hot, and this is where we can really get into the topic we've been bringing up on other episodes. I guess between those two teams, who do we want to see?
Yeah, it looks like it's got to be one of those two teams now. San Diego 3 up, tiebreaker on Milwaukee. I don't think tiebreaker on Philly, but they take care of business just somewhat. They'll be the 5 seed. I don't know. Milwaukee's still so scary. Playing 19 times in a season, you just never know. And I think I'd rather go against Philly, especially with how cold they are right now.
Yeah.
And I think their whole pitching staff is like, Wheeler is good, but he still just doesn't seem fully built up back from his injury. Nola's obviously good, but then if they have to get to a Game 3, I think that Game 3 is a big question mark for them on who pitches. So
yeah, it's honestly a similar situation pitching-wise to the Brewers. You got Burns and Woodruff, and then it's a question mark right now. And the Cardinals have hit decently off of those guys. Tonight we threw a AAA lineup against Woodruff, so I won't take that into account. But I kind of agree I'd rather see Philly. But I feel like the familiarity with the Brewers could play well for us, especially playing them at home. But like you said, Philly this cold could be really good, and Wheeler, I think, lost to the Cubs the other night or something. So, yeah, like you said,
they only gave up 2, but
yeah, it's interesting. I didn't mention San Francisco's, I think, eliminated. I don't know, but they're all but eliminated, and probably will be by the time this video's out. So, other than that, everybody else in the MLB, get ready for the postseason. Watching from home.
Yeah, I thought Milwaukee was dead, and they're back in the race, wild card race. As far as the Mets Braves, we'll want to talk about that briefly. They got that 3-game set this weekend. Mets are 1 up. They also hold the tiebreaker, so the Braves have to at least win the series. At least, if the Mets win that series, they'd be virtually 2 games up. Braves win the series, they'd be tied in the standings, but Mets would have the tiebreaker. Braves sweep, then they're 1 up in the standings and have the tiebreaker. So if the Braves sweep, it's probably Braves. If the Mets win the series at all, it's the Mets. If the in-between happens where Braves get 2 out of 3, then we got some interesting stuff, but Mets would hold tiebreaker then. So Braves, you got it at home. Now's the time. Get it done.
Yeah, we could keep moving forward on the Cardinals. Look at this as like, if we beat the 6, who would you rather be this 2? So looking at 2 really good teams either way. So
I think I'd rather play Atlanta just because if the Mets have DeGrom and Scherzer lined up in games 1 and 2 for us, that just doesn't sound cool.
1, 2, and probably 5 if we get to it. So yeah, it's another situation. Great pitching, a lot of good pitching going into this. I honestly feel like we have some of the weaker in the NL right now. So
a little bit worrisome too. And quickly, the Phillies have the tiebreaker on Milwaukee, so Milwaukee's got to get up a game up and them 2 in the standings. No game 163s this year, which I like, but anyway, so Milwaukee's got to get it done for sure.
Yep, it's gonna be fun. We got 1 week left. This time next week we'll be bringing you a postseason preview most likely. So that'll be fun. Fill out a little bracket, I think, on show. So it'll be fun. We'll see who does better. See whose bias shows the most, I guess. That'll be interesting. So I would absolutely love, which this could happen. The Braves get the 4, they beat the 5, and then beat the Dodgers, and we get to an NLCS, dude. I might have to
That'd
pop
be
out.
insane.
Might have to pop out. I might go to all set. No, I'm just kidding. I ain't got the money for that.
Awesome.
Anyways,
It's feasible.
it could be. We're kind of close. We're not in the middle, but we're within range of both. We've been to both this year actually, so yeah. So look out for that. NFL this weekend. Watch out for that one coming up. So yeah.
Until next time, we appreciate you guys.